Hey guys, so if you're interested in rent to social housing, I'm Kenny. I started Rent2Rent 5-6 years ago. I started with HMO, I scaled that business, then I went into serviced accommodation, then I started to coach it.
I'm Dan, I'm one of Kenny's students. I joined up with him originally, started in rent to HMO, and then went on to learn the rent to social housing method, and now we've scaled up, and now we're on 11 units, on track to hit 20 this year.
So Dan is the social housing expert. He would be your coach if you ever joined our mentorship, okay? So Dan, I'm just gonna smash you with that questions. So first up, we've got Liam. I keep hearing social housing is guaranteed rent. What does guaranteed actually mean in real life?
Yeah, guaranteed means in real life essentially that you have a contract agreeing to pay the rent, and you get that for a fixed period of time. Nothing in life is guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
We need
two things in life are guaranteed.
Yeah, taxes and death.
Yeah.
But it's the chain of where that money is coming from. So oftentimes, when you're working with a social housing provider, the money is coming from the local authority or directly from the government. So there is some sort of authority there of where that actual money is coming from. But ultimately, you still need to run the referencing on the company that you'd be putting in the property 100%.
Yeah.
So, and there are horror stories, just as there are with normal residential tenants, right?
So it's just extra reassurance. Like you said, there's nothing really truly guaranteed about it, because the only two things in life that are guaranteed are taxes and death. But it's the reassurance level is so much higher than a standard tenancy to a family, right? Because of evidence, proof of guaranteed rent every single month to many different landlords from a social housing provider and from yourself. So if you can provide that reassurance, like, look, we're working with multiple providers. They pay us on time every single time. Here's a proof of that. We're working with many different landlords. Here's all of the properties. This is guaranteed rent for each one every single month. You're going to wake up on the 1st. It's standing order. Come 6 a.m, you look at your phone, you've got the rent. So it's the extra reassurance. Cool. Hannah, do councils pay monthly like a tenant, or is it quarterly or delayed?
Councils, so typically we don't work with councils. That's more temporary accommodation, which is another sort of strategy within rent to social housing. Yeah, they get paid monthly for TA. In regards to providers, yes, we get paid monthly. Okay. Some commercial tenancies, probably the reason for that question is because some commercial tenancies, they do pay quarterly, but that's just what is agreed upon, essentially. So I always go for monthly.
Okay. Cool. Mark, can I do social housing if I already have rent-to-rent serviced accommodation, which is the Airbnb, units running?
I would say yes. What does the question mean there? Is it that could be in two ways? So do you want to keep your rent-to-rent and your service accommodations and then continue to get more properties on social housing, or do you want to switch your Airbnbs into social housing? Two different questions, but same answer essentially is, if you want to change over your existing units, you need to have permission from the landlord. You probably need to agree another lease to have the permissions to be able to do that. And then if you wanted to continue on your business, if you already got a rent-to-rent business set up, essentially you're doing the exact same thing. So yeah, you can add on social housing units. Yeah,
absolutely. From a different stance, if somebody's asking that question, I'm asking why. Why are you asking that question? If an Airbnb unit is running successfully, it should be producing very good cash flow.
Yeah.
So maybe you took on that rent-to-rent. If it is a rent-to-rent, or if it's an Airbnb, you didn't do the correct due diligence to go down that strategy.
Yeah.
So make sure you do the correct due diligence to go down another strategy. Don't do exactly what you think was right in the first place, otherwise you wouldn't have gotten that muddle in the first place. Prior, what happens if a property is empty? Do I still get paid?
Yes. So it's like with us, right? When we're doing a normal rent to rent, if it's not rent to social housing, we're still liable to pay the rent. We still have to pay the landlord the rent.
That's a risk we own.
Yeah, exactly. If we've not got a guest, or we've not got tenants in, or we've got voids or whatever, we have to still pay, and it's exactly the same with the providers, and that's why you need to make sure that they have the financial backing. That's why we do due diligence on the providers. So yeah, you still get paid. We've had a company in, and it took them, I think, 6 months to get their first tenant in, which is fairly common sometimes when they're getting referrals from the councils. So yeah, they still have to pay you.
Dan, is this basically subletting to the council, or is it something different legally? So it's not subletting. Subletting means leasing something that is leased. We've just gave subletting a dirty word for someone that is on an AST contract and they're renting it out again without telling the landlord. Or even if they told the landlord, the contract won't protect you. Subletting, how we do it, is a business contract. Everything is outlaid in the contract. The landlord agrees to let the use of their property be given to the use of this business. Yes, it's subletting, but it's a business. It's business use.
Yeah.
Transaction.
It's contextual, right? Subletting isn't a bad thing. It's whether you're allowed to sublet or not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We've just gave the word subletting such a bad taste.
Yeah.
But it just means lease to lease. Olivia, How much money do you realistically need to start one social housing deal?
As little as nothing. So you don't need to have money to set up a social housing deal, because oftentimes what you'll be doing is you'll have the deposit in the first month's rent coming from the provider, and then you transfer those funds minus your part onto the landlord or to the agent, and effectively the deal funds itself. If the provider needs to do works in the property or they want it furnished and things like that, they can do it themselves. But everything again is negotiable. You can sweeten the deal by maybe if it needs fire doors, for example, is one thing. We've just done a deal where we agreed to do the fire doors for the provider. So we did that off of our own back to sweeten the deal, and it's a win-win for everyone. But you don't need to do that.
You don't need a lot of money,
We've done many no money down deals.
Yeah, so see this property here, here and here, they were all no money down deals for Dan and James. So yeah, you don't need a lot of money. Just create a win-win situation for landlord and provider.
Yeah.
Question from Aaron, do you need experience in property or can you start as a complete beginner? Yeah, you can absolutely start as a complete beginner. This is our job, right? We're gonna take you from someone who has zero experience, nothing at all, whether you've been looking into property for years, or you might be a buy-to-let owner, or you're very experienced. We take basically someone from no experience and help you scale a business at any level. You know, the income isn't capped. So when I started, I had zero experience in property, none whatsoever. Fast forward 83 days, I secured 3 properties, and the profit on that was 2,400. I was taking home 2,700. So with 83 days work, that blew my mind. I was bouncing off the kitchen wall. Honestly, I cannot believe it still. You can do this from zero experience. And Dan, when Dan joined me, no experience in property.
No.
And you secured your first HMO just by working hard and trying to solve a problem for a landlord. That's it. Can you solve a problem for a landlord? Yes. Then you structure the deal properly, contractually, you get paid.
Simple as that.
Tom, what areas in the UK actually work for social housing right now? So I do get that question quite a lot.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because there's a need everywhere.
Yeah.
So
it's what we were saying in the last video.
Yeah, absolutely everywhere, because
people need care everywhere.
People need care everywhere.
It's not like, there's Manchester. There's more people that are needing care in Manchester.
Yeah.
There might be actually, but...
I mean, obviously, more densely populated areas are going to have a stronger demand and things like that. Like if you're in some really rural town in England, like chances are they're not going to want anything there, right? There may be like one care home there or one facility or something like that. But yeah, so any sort of city built up area will have a demand for social housing.
Yeah, and don't think it's a saturated market either, because for the amount of rent-to-renters to people needing care and people providing, homes for people needing care far outweighs the amount of rent-to-renters like us. We'd be like not even 1% of the market. From Sophie, so is social housing safer than HMOs, or does it just sound safer? So it depends what you mean by safer.
Yeah.
It's a business model being safer, not the actual property.
Yeah, I mean, I would say they're both safe. It's just they're different, and in both models you need to do your due diligence, right? I would say that social housing is more hands-off than HMO, but yeah, I would say they're both...
They have their pros and cons, don't they?
They have their pros and cons, yeah. I mean, I prefer social housing. That's the way I've taken my business now, because effectively, like everything that we're offering to the landlord, obviously hands-off, no voids, all that
fully maintained.
All that good stuff, yeah, we're getting ourselves from the provider. So it's just, rather than dealing with tenants and then the upcoming renters reform and things like that, it's a much more appealing business model and much more scalable in my eyes, and that's why I prefer it.
It's got to align with your goals, not the strategy. What's your lifestyle goals? But they're quite similar. It still requires the same amount of work at the front end. Onboarding a provider, onboarding an estate agent, finding a landlord, finding a landlord.
Yeah. Exactly
the same. It's just the end game is completely different. It's passive completely for social housing. With HMO, you've got to manage everything yourself.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? That's it, really, and go for it. It's not like, that might work for me, they both work.
Yeah.
Just choose one. Question from Chris, how long does it take from first contact to getting paid on a deal?
How long is a piece of string?
I can get a piece of string and measure it.
First contact. Yeah, that's a difficult question to answer, really. It depends on how much work you put in. There's a lot of luck involved as well. There's so much that goes into this business model that's nothing to do with this business model, right? It's to do with you as a person, your personal development, your communication skills. How do you interact with people? Are you good with people? Are you naturally likable? If you are, then that's probably going to take you further, right? Because this is a complete people's game.
100%. People, person, business.
Yeah, and there's step by step by step that we teach in the course that you just need to follow, and everyone that does that will get the result. It's just some people will get it quicker because they're better with people, essentially. That's a huge thing.
Yeah, it is a huge thing. Who cares how long it is? Nothing in life is guaranteed, so the path works. I've walked it, you've walked it, many of our students agents are financially free. Many of them have walked the exact same path. This isn't easy. It's not guaranteed. If you walk it long enough, you see a result. Simple as that. If you walk and you go astray, you won't get to the end. Simple as that. So it's very, very rewarding. What is it? It's 12:30 on a Thursday. Most people are at work. We're sat in a lovely hotel doing a podcast, talking about the thing we love doing, just because we put in the work at the front end. We're financially free. We get, I get to walk my kids to school every morning. I get to pick them up. So I took Jasper to school this morning. I'll pick him up when I go home.
Yeah.
Not many dads can say or do that.
No.
But I worked freaking hard to get where I am today.
Yeah.
But I just walked the path that exists. I didn't create a new one.
No.
Think, there's a niche in the market. I'm gonna do that, and I won. It's like, no, I just copied what works.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
But I accepted that. If you can accept that it's not how long the string is, it's do you want to pick up that piece of string?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be rewarding.
That's so true. Like, if there's just one thing, like when mentees ask, like, how long, or do you think it will take me a deal, or is this long enough to get me a deal, or they ask me how long it took me to get my first deal, it's like that is all irrelevant. Like you just said, just pull it out of your mind. Ultimately, what it is are you going to decide that you're not going to quit and you're going to push through and you're going to keep going until you get the result? Because then if so, the time doesn't matter, does it?
No.
Because one thing that is guaranteed is that if you were to put, say it takes 2 years to get a business where you're financially free, right? You could put those 2 years into probably the majority, let's say 80% of career paths, and you are not going to get the income as a pay rise that you would in this business model. It's mental. It just wouldn't happen.
You got to grow your mindset. So I worked exceptionally hard on my mindset even before I started. I'm like, to become an entrepreneur, you have to think like an entrepreneur before you're even paid. Definition of an entrepreneur is working hard before seeing the result, creating money from something that isn't paying you consistently, or something like that. But I had an 8-year plan. It wasn't even a plan. Right. So I started at the age of 32. This is a long-winded answer, but I think it's important to cover this. You just got to accept it's not guaranteed, and you're not just going to try and dip your toe for 3 months, and if it doesn't work, it didn't work. It freaking works for everybody that just is consistent and does the work. So I said to myself, I'm 32, where I was working, people retire at 67. So I'm like, even if it takes me 8 years, I'll be 40 and I buy back 27 years on the average man. I'm happy with an 8-year plan. Just go with it. It's not even what you achieve, it's who you become in the process. You learn so much about yourself. Discipline, motivation doesn't mean much.
No.
That is very spiky. You can't rely on it. You have to change as a person and look at life completely different. And just getting to the grasp of that is exciting. It's like, what don't I know? What do I need to learn?
And you reflect upon the challenges that you have as you go, and you look back over time and you're like, bloody hell, like, I can remember I used to struggle to pick up the phone, and now it's like I'm picking up the phone all the time.
Answering the phone.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, there's so much that changes, and I think you don't get the result until you've become the person. I was speaking, it was a while back, I think I've spoke to you like this before, we met some guys, they're developers, and basically he said, I could hand you today what I've got, and you'd lose it all. Because you don't know, and you're not the person ready to shoulder that responsibility, essentially. And that's so true. Like, you've got to become the person. So
to keep it.
Yeah, exactly. To keep it and to get it.
Rob Moore basically said, and this quote never left me, it's like, if you inherited £1 million, you better become a millionaire real quick.
Yeah, so true.
Because your current habits, you don't know how to invest. It would go down, not up. Where a millionaire would make multiple.
And it's like when you get success as well, that old you will be like, ooh, like, am I ready? What am I doing? Like, you've got to try and like then stabilize that in your mindset and actually be like, well, no, I am a person that has this business now. It's up and running. Like, we need to look for the next one. Like, I am this guy now.
Yeah, it's epic, isn't it? I love the journey, and that's what you need to accept. It is. It's a journey, your journey. Just walk that path. No one knows where the result is along that path. This is a quote from Curtis Jackson: "Is you need to become content with running through an endless dark tunnel. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. There's no sunshine and rainbows. You get a result and you're like, all happy and everything's perfect." It's like he went to the next level in his mind when he come to the conclusion. It's like, I'm running through an endless dark tunnel and I'm just going to keep jogging at the same pace. He's happy and content in that. And I think I'm kind of living that. Like, it's all in discipline, consistency, and who you become along the way. So take your piece of string and just chuck it and stamp on it. Okay, any last words from you?
No.
Okay, yeah. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow us for more. We're relentless in creating YouTube videos for social housing, service accommodation, HMO, deal sourcing, everything rent to rent. So don't just follow one channel to learn one strategy. Follow me and follow Dan, because this is the channel to be, and we just talk normally. So you're going to learn a lot.